Hey, welcome back to the Secret Underground Lair. So I made another couple little minor changes to the sawmill, and I am getting some really nice cuts out of this wood, out of the saw. You can see here just little tiny score marks where the blade is passing. I have never had a bandsaw cut so cleanly before, of any kind. So really impressed with this. So this is a result of two things. One, the new blade guides that we put on that you saw me do in the last video, so better holding of the blade. But the second thing, and I think the most important one, is I slowed down the blade. So previously, I had a 3.5-inch pulley up here. So I dropped that down to just a 1.5-inch pulley. So from 1.5 to a 7-inch pulley, actually probably more like 6.5 because that belt sits pretty deep in that pulley. Slowed the blade down probably a third of what it was. So I believe I'm now getting about 1,700 feet per minute. Previously, this blade was whipping around at about 5,500 feet per minute. And that, I think, coupled with the wheels of the bandsaw, which are 12-inch, these are 12-inch wheels here, I think that was contributing a significant amount to the stress on the blade and was giving me a lot of blade breaks. So having now slowed the blade down quite a bit, I'm expecting I'll have a little bit less stress on the blade as it whips around those 12-inch wheels. And hopefully we'll get a little bit longer blade life. So better stabilization of the blade, a slower blade speed, and we should be okay. Interestingly enough, by slowing down the blade speed, I didn't have to slow down the blade travel. So I'm actually running a little faster now, cutting through the log, than I was with the blade whipping around at about 5,500 feet per minute. So yeah, a nice change. Anyway, I'm going to finish cutting up this log today. So I'll put you on time lapse and we'll make a few passes on this. That'll be today's adventure. So that was it's just made a beautiful cut again. It's almost like 80 grit sandpaper is how that's coming out. I'm just kind of blown away by the change that has made by slowing the blade down and stabilizing it a little better. Unbelievable. The travel on that was about a little over 3 inches per minute in terms of blade coming along this way. It looks like I could probably go a little bit faster, but I'm going to stick with that for a little while and just see how well we do. So make one more pass, one more slice. And then another nice slab comes off that piece. Now I did make a mistake when I put this piece up on the work table, and that is I didn't account for this crack. And as a result, what I've got from the piece that just got cut off, I do have this crack that runs way up the piece, and one blow it runs way up the piece. So I should have moved this log or rotated this log 90 degrees so that I would be cutting slices this way, and then when I get to the pith, I can just skip over that part. So I'm going to do that for the rest of the log. I'm gonna flip this up 90 degrees and make the rest of the cuts along this plane. Means I'm gonna have less wide boards, but I'll avoid that crack and have a little more consistency in the pieces that do come off this. Not a big deal for me. These pieces are probably going to be cut into smaller strips anyway and laminated together. So doesn't worry me a lot. Especially in light of the fact that the sawmill is just behaving beautifully at the moment. I just can't help but marvel at the incredible consistency I'm getting out of this wood. The cut, it's just smooth. I'm trying getting close here. You can see the saw marks, but those are barely a ripple. It's just incredible. Okay, enough of me going on and on about the wood. Let me flip this over and we'll finish cutting this off. So I have our log repositioned. I'm going to be taking a little bit better than an inch off this slab here. It's not going to be cutting terribly much here, so I'm going to try and run it a little bit faster than I have been. The last cut, you may have noticed my little green dust shroud here I had taken off. I've put it back on. It does make a difference. I'm trying to figure out the best way to collect the dust that falls in behind. So I'm just kind of watching it, seeing how the dust moves. Eventually we'll have something there, but put it back on just to make sure I capture a little bit more dust during the cut. So back on time lapse and away we go. I've now cut a fair bit off this log. Still have some more to cut, but I'm going to flip it. I have this large crack through here, so I'm going to flip the log this way so I can take slices off it here. There'll be a section, of course, that's going to be discarded where that crack goes through, but so be it. What I have got so far out of that log are all of these pieces. So getting a lot of really decent lumber. It comes out just smooth, hardly need to just touch that through the surface planer and it'll be perfect. So really happy with the results. I'm going to carry on with this log. I'll be finishing it up off camera, and then we're going to bring in a big monster oak log. And we'll start cutting that up. A couple other things to note. The blade has remained incredibly cool during all of this cutting, so it doesn't heat up at all. It just moves through really nicely. I'm observing some things about dust collection that are going to make it better as we go on. Overall, the saw is just working wonderfully. So I'll leave that as a video for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.